Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but I've been pretty busy trying to get the truck to pass emissions, as you may know. And in the meantime, I've been working on a new cell. This is kind of an update from the last one that I made. It's a little bit cleaner. It's still basically experimental, but I guess they all are experimental. There's 3 pipe sets that are hooked up here. They're hooked up in series. And I just run it through a bubbler. It's just a bubbler I had laying around, or a reservoir. I had to plug it up to get it to work. Right now it's empty, and I'm just about to check and see if there's any leaks, but I wanted to give you a quick look at it. Let me know what you think. I had some pretty good success with something like this on the truck, so I probably am going to stick this one on the truck as well. Experimenting also with a couple of different seals. So you can see the bottom one down there, it's not actually epoxy sealed, but the rest of them are. I'm hoping to get rid of the epoxy and elongate the outer tubes a bit, but everything else should remain the same. I have a couple plugs on the outside just in case I want to add another port. And if this is successful, the next one I do will probably have 6 tubes in it. That's the goal. But I'm about to hook it up and see what it does. I'll just hook it up to tap water and see how it runs. As well, I did get the emissions test finally done and finally completed. I will talk about that a little bit later once I get the paperwork in order so you can see it, but it was fairly successful. Alright, let's hook it up. Alright, so this is take 2. I just went ahead and replaced all the seals because that was a bit of a fail. Everything was leaking, and now as you can see, I took off all the plastic weld, connected it all back up. Doesn't seem to be any leaks other than just the plugs. It seems to be working great, actually. A shot of some of the hydrogen coming out. It isn't really, it's basically just tap water, so it's running off the tap water. I don't know what the amps are right now. I have it hooked up to the Hummer, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, that's it. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. Let's have a look inside. See what you can see there. It's tap water, so it's getting kind of brown. And it's weak. There's no KOH or anything in there yet. I'm just running it to see if it leaks. So yeah, I think that's success. I would say success. Pretty happy about it. If anyone's interested in buying one of these, just let me know. Send me an email. But yeah, it looks like it works really good. I'm actually going to hook one of these things up to my lawnmower and see what it does, but let's have a look at the Hummer. Alright, so here's the Hummer. Here's the original system. I still got on there. I put on an extra battery. There's the bubbler. There's the plate cell in there. Let's take off the bubbler and have a look. Really cranking out the hydrogen, and it makes a huge difference in power and economy. I just finished doing so much work on the Hummer. I had to replace, for the emissions, I had to replace the catalytic converters. I replaced the other battery over there. I replaced the alternator. What else? I don't know if you can see the new cats in there. I replaced all the sensors, the O2 sensors. The cats are done. A small exhaust leak, but it is running fantastic. The exhaust, as you can see, is got a little bit of water coming out of there, which is great because it wasn't doing that before. The cats were plugged. And they're old, so I replaced those and passed emissions, which is what I will talk about next. Get the paperwork together and include it. I'll just go get that ready now. But once again, here is the new cell design. Bubbling away. Actually see the flow of the water going down there. It's kind of cool. Works awesome. Okay guys, so finally here are the reports from my emissions. I think it was a complete success, but it was not without its heartache and expenditures, that is for sure. But the hydrogen definitely made a significant improvement. So these are my results. I'm going to try and do my best to go through them with you. So the first test I did, actually I did two tests on the same day. The first one had no hydrogen or any modifications. I just took it in and got it tested. And as you can see on the idle, I failed with the hydrocarbons and the CO reading. And at the 2500 RPM reading, I failed the CO, but I actually passed the hydrocarbons for the 2500. And that's because in my opinion, my catalytic converters were failing at the time, and I did not know that. So that is without hydrogen, okay? Now, the same day, the same time, I actually just walked out to the parking lot, turned on the hydrogen, and drove it back in for the same test. And it was they're all tailpipe tests. They're not just OBD readings. So this one, I still had the bad cats. It was the same day. It was just a few minutes later. And look at the difference. On the idle with hydrogen, it dropped significantly. It went from the hydrocarbons dropped from 235 up here, 235, with just adding hydrogen. They dropped down to 173, which is a pass. So that is for the hydrocarbons. So considering they were bad cats, and that was still a pass, as well with the 2500 RPM reading, it dropped from 58 to 44, which was a pass, and it passed the CO emissions. So it dropped from 1.12, which is a fail, to 0.094, and the only thing I changed was adding hydrogen. But unfortunately on the idle, the CO still didn't pass. So it passed like 3 out of 4 tests by just adding hydrogen. And keep in mind, this is with 2 plugged catalytic converters. They were a mess. I can absolutely feel that they were bad, and I had them tested and they were bad, so I had to wait and replace those. So just with adding hydrogen alone, with 2 bad catalytic converters, it almost completely passed. Like, it made such a significant difference. Now, since then, I changed the catalytic converters, and I changed nothing else. So all I did was add the new cats, and the results were just incredible. Actually, the emissions place was blown away with the difference. So let's look at the idle here. So the idle went from, well, the highest it was 235. It dropped down to 12, which obviously is a pass. That's for hydrocarbons. And the CO dropped from 1.56 to almost 0, 0.09, which is incredible. And you got to remember, this is a huge engine, so I'm sure with a little bit more hydrogen it probably would have just zeroed right out. What else? So that's for the idle. As far as the 2500 RPM reading, it went from reading 58, which is still a pass. Remember, I passed that part of it. I went from 58 down to 3. Like, that is incredibly low. That's incredible. And the 2500 RPM idle for the CO went from, which it failed, and it initially went from 1.12, because the max is 1, so it failed at 1.12, and it dropped down to 0.03, which is nuts. That's incredible. These are spectacular results. I am so blown away by, I'm very happy that I passed emissions finally, but it was not without the expenditures. The catalytic converters on these things are extremely expensive. Lucky enough, I had a couple of friends, one who helped me with the financial part of it, and one who helped me with the installation, so I'm very blessed that way, and I appreciate anybody who can help out either financially or physically with this whole project. It is ongoing, but yeah, in a nutshell, complete success. I think in hindsight, because I didn't find out until after I actually went for the second test, that I probably would have passed the idle on the second test, which had HHO, even though it had bad cats, because I had a problem with my air intake, and it was sticking. So that's probably what was causing that. So it probably would have passed. So I've since fixed that, obviously. So I think it would have passed just with the hydrogen. But I'm glad I got the new cats anyways, because it made such a huge difference, and the readings are almost zero. I'm blown away. So stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys. Okay, just a quick add-on. I've made a couple of minor adjustments to this, and thought I'd run it for a bit, and added a bifilar rod. This thing is running at about 2 amps right on the button at 12 volts, and I don't know if you can see the amount of hydrogen coming out of the top here. It's pretty impressive for 2 amps. You can hear the bifilar rod buzzing away. There's the hydrogen coming up. Again, 2 amps. 12 volts, 2 amps. There's the system. There's the rod. I just have it hooked up to a battery charger. And let's see if we can look inside. Look at it come out. Look, that's incredible. You see that? Two amps. I'm sure it's high quality. 2 amps. Oops. There's the charger. Looks like it's right on the dot. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that. Pretty impressed with just the way it is right now. I don't even have a PWM hooked up to it yet, which is something I want to do next. But yeah, I'm going to sell one of these for sure. They're not cheap to make, but if you're interested, let me know. It's probably going to be about 250 bucks. But wow, yeah, I can't wait to see what I can do with this. I might just add a few more pipes on it, but hey, 2 amps, that's incredible. I'm pretty impressed.